foot off his hand.
I'll just say noted. On legal advice.
Yes. Minister, I did hear you on national radio talking about the councils had involvement with other extraneous things, and one was lottery, which you did name before you left the studio that day, and the other one was a cinema. Now, does that cinema belong to the initials that I've got on the palm of my hand?
H?
No, S. T. D. C. South Taranaki District Council.
Oh, it's Harawa, isn't it, Lawrence?
Well, it is Hara, but that's the capital of South Taranaki. Is that the one?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are you a happy owner of the movie theatre?
No, I am not. And years ago when I was on council, they had a depot full of machinery that I advocated then to get rid of and get contractors in and get a price on the job and negotiate downwards all the time. Thank you.
Another act man. This is the last question.
Yes, thanks, Ed. Congratulations. Well done. Property rights. Very dear to us. There's another word we haven't heard today. It's called compensation. And when those property rights are stolen, we expect compensation. Is there any prospect that compensation will be addressed in the new legislation?
Well, of course, you're exactly right that if you are to respect property rights, that where you come along and pinch them using government powers, whether for a road or for, to save trees, then if you're going to respect property rights, then you need full compensation. And I think that's also the case for partial takings, which we don't compensate for. So someone can come along and dictate what you can do on your land, the fertiliser rates, or whether you can cut down trees. That's actually a taking of your property, but it's not recognised currently by the New Zealand government as a taking, and yet it is. And the argument that the government runs, well, you still own it, but you could still own nothing if they continued that process. The way it'll go is, I have a very esteemed group of policy experts and learned gentlemen working on our regulatory responsibility bill, and in that will be an analysis of property rights and compensation for private property right holders, and then that'll be available for wider public discussion and a point for discussion with our support party, the National Party, to see what progress we've done.
Well, on that note, I think I should do a little bit of a sum up and say that, Minister, I'm going to focus on local government more in my summing up. The North Cape to Stewart Island, you know what your tax rate is every year in advance, plus you know that GST is set at 12.5%. You haven't a damn clue what local government and 85 councils is going to do to you year on year, and you're at the political whim in most of those regions. So while we focus on funding reform, and we really do focus on it at a higher level than a lot of others, we'd respectfully suggest that you cannot have referenda in local authority areas while you've got disparate funding mechanisms. And that's why we're not so enamoured with the idea of referenda until we get people paying for people's services and local democracy more in tune with real democracy. I could have called you the Minister of Freedom. I think that would encompass where you're trying to head us, and perhaps we do need a Ministry of Freedom in this country. Good luck, Minister. Your task is immense, actually. You're up against some of the biggest union power in the country in the Society of Local Government Managers. I wish you well in the quest at breaking that dominance in local government, and you have the Federation's fullest support. Give Rodney Hyde a warm